Hey friends, welcome back. So we just had a very messy episode of Survivor and I'm super excited to talk about it, so stick around. If you have not already, make sure you hit the subscribe button below for more Survivor recaps this season. Alright, let's go. So the episode starts off focusing on the members of the old Yase tribe. Things are super duper tense between the three of them after last tribal. I mean, it's looking like there is no more loyalty left between Xander, Tiffany, and Evvie at all. They're all going behind each other's back trying to work with anybody except each other. It's like a loveless marriage at this point. The thing that the show didn't really explain that I was wondering is why weren't they Yase strong anymore? Like, what happened to make them all turn on each other so harshly? I guess maybe it was because the three of them were at the bottom, so they figured the easiest way to survive individually was to cannibalize each other. After the reward challenge, we see the winners dining on grilled cheese sandwiches and having a good time. And of course, the losers of the challenge are sulking about their loss, especially Shan. Shan is just feeling super duper down and tired and probably hungry more than anything else. While Shan and Liana lean on each other for emotional support, we get to see a really interesting quote from Xander that stood out to me a lot. Xander said that he actually really liked to be with the losers of the challenge because the loss leaves people really emotional, and he was kind of taking advantage of this moment of vulnerability between Shan and Liana, especially to try to mend bonds and build relationships between them. I just thought that this was a really smart move and a really smart thing to say, and it showed what a great strategic player Xander could be. Now, it is a bit villainous to take advantage of someone when they're feeling emotionally weak, but hey, this is Survivor and sometimes you gotta be a villain to win, so I thought that was a pretty smart move for Xander. Later on, Naseer ends up finding some papaya and he splits it between the rest of the losers. And this is where we get some of my favorite type of drama on Survivor: food drama. Food drama is always really interesting to watch because it seems really petty at first, really being upset and arguing over literally the tiniest bite of food. But when you're that hungry on the brink of starvation, you know, somebody could get hurt for some food at that point. We see Ricard, who has just come back from the reward challenge. So he just come back from eating grilled cheese sandwiches. He takes a piece of the papaya that Naseer found. Right then, Shan's feelings are hurt. Shan thinks it's selfish because a lot of people haven't eaten at all, and Ricard says it's no big deal because it was just a tiny little bite. And even on the internet, like on Twitter and Reddit, some of y'all were arguing about this damn papaya thing. Even though Ricard did take like the tiniest little bit of papaya, I do understand why Shan would think that's a selfish move. I mean, dude, you literally just freaking ate. It's more about the principle behind it. The fact that it didn't even cross his mind. It seemed like he just kind of grabbed it without thinking like, oh, there's a little papaya, let me have some. Although I did see on Twitter later, Ricard tweeted that he had actually never had papaya before, so he wanted to try it out just to see what it was like, and he ended up being allergic. This whole thing did remind me of the situation in Heroes versus Villains with James, the whole banana etiquette drama.
Apparently there's banana etiquette. An average adult can't just go get their own banana when they're hungry. It's weird. Banana etiquette, really?
The banana etiquette thing was probably like my favorite food drama out of all time on Survivor. If you guys have any other food drama altercations that you really like on the show, let me know in the comments below. We get to the immunity challenge, and morality is tested again when the players are given a choice. If hella people volunteer to sit out of this immunity challenge, then they'll get enough rice to feed the whole tribe. The producers have given these people no rice, like no food at all. I don't think that's ever happened before. So yeah, people are hungry. Shan and Naseer volunteer immediately. Xander then steps up and is kind of like looking around like, hello, anybody? But as we see, Ricard takes one for the team and ends up stepping up as well. I'll just say that I don't think Ricard would have volunteered at all if Shan wouldn't have called him out earlier that day. This is an endurance challenge. As soon as the challenge starts, people just start dropping like flies. This has to be one of the quickest challenges I've ever seen play out on Survivor. But as we see, Evvie actually ends up winning immunity, and she is showing herself to be quite the comp beast lately. We get back to camp and of course whispers are already happening. Xander and Tiffany are immediately in trouble because they're the odd ones out. Things seem pretty cut and dry until Deshawn and his sidekick Danny decide to turn on their old ally Naseer and throw him under the bus. Shan doesn't really agree with this idea and we see a little argument happening between Deshawn and Shan. Shan really thinks that sending Naseer home is not the right move and Deshawn's really upset that he's not being heard. Now, I can totally sympathize with Deshawn not feeling heard, but I do think that Shan was in the right on this argument. I mean, Naseer seems to absolutely adore Deshawn and Danny, and he said in this episode that he really likes Shan and Ricard a lot. I don't think Xander has that same adoration for you, Deshawn. Naseer has an idol and trusts y'all hella. Xander has an idol and is not really fucking with y'all at all. I mean, to me, it seems like Xander would be the obvious choice, but hey, I'm not playing the game. We get to tribal council and everything seems really tame. But all of a sudden, Heather of all people decides to start whispering, and just like that, she sparks a live tribal. She starts whispering to everybody, telling them to vote Naseer out, Naseer. Everybody's just like looking around confused, like, the fuck is going on? So now people are wanting to get Heather out, or whispering, Heather this, Heather that, let's vote Heather. I'm just, I don't know what the fuck is going on. We see arguing. Shan and Deshawn spark up their argument again from before. We see Ricard very obviously trying to get Xander to flush his idol. I don't know who he thought he was trying to fool there. I know live tribals are really controversial. A lot of people don't like them because it's really hard to follow what's going on. And while that may be true, I do like mess, so part of me was really loving the chaotic nature of it all. We get to the vote and it's pretty split between Xander, Heather, and Tiffany. But as we see, Tiffany is the one that is voted out and she becomes the first member of the jury. I was really shocked and actually a little bit sad that Tiffany went home tonight. Even though she was a firecracker, I thought that she would be able to make it far because the people that she surrounded herself with were more obvious targets than her. This might be shady, but I totally thought Heather was going home this episode just purely because she was visible. But what did you guys think of the episode? Let me know in the comments below. How do you feel about Tiffany leaving? Are you sad to see her go, or are you happy that she's gone? Thanks for staying to the end. Be sure to give this video a like and hit the subscribe button if you have not already for more Survivor coverage for the rest of the season. This was a fun episode, y'all. I'll see y'all next week.